A concerning development. That's how the opposition is describing yesterday's declaration of states of emergency. Opposition spokesman on national security, Senator Peter Bunting, says there are several other approaches the government can take to reduce crime. Vashon Brown has the details.
The opposition says there are still lingering questions about the constitutionality of using states of emergency to fight crime. In September last year, Justice Bertram Morrison ruled that the detention of 5 men under the states of emergency was unlawful.
The government has appealed the case and are awaiting the outcome of the appeal. So it seems rather contemptuous, really, of the court, and it offends the separation of powers for the government to be proceeding to use the states of emergency in the very same way and set of circumstances that the court has already ruled against.
So with an ongoing court matter, is there not a concern that promulgating the states of emergency might be seen as contemptuous of the courts and the judicial process? That question was put to the Attorney General, Marlene Malahoo Fort, at a press conference on Sunday.
There appears to be, in a certain section of the public, almost a setting up of tension between and among the branches of government. And I'm not talking about legitimate questions being raised. And let me just say unequivocally, Mrs. Jackson-Miller, that this government is not deliberately taking any action in breach of the Constitution. But you do know that the actions of government will be reviewed by the courts, and in the process of review may sometimes be found in breach of the Constitution. But this is not the case in this particular case, where the court has said you cannot call a state of public emergency. The court is inquiring into circumstances under previous states of emergency in which persons were detained.
She says changes are to be made to the regulations governing the operations of the states of emergency to address the concerns about the detentions, but the opposition is still concerned.
What the state of emergency will allow them to do is to go in and scrape up a whole heap of young people, hold them without charge. Most will be released without ever being charged. And so soon as the state of emergency is ended, or the concentrated focus is taken off them, no cases will have been put together to permanently remove whatever small percentage of them may be the real criminals from the streets.
In the meantime, the opposition spokesman on national security argues that there are several other approaches that the government could use to reduce the number of murders.
Where there is a spike, you need to saturate the area with security forces in the short term. There is sufficient power under ordinary legislation, the Defense Act, the JCF Act, or even the Zones of Special Operation Act, that the police and military can saturate an area for a period of time. They can have cordons, curfews, searches in a much more targeted operation.
Vashon Brown, TVJ News.